right, blessings, Aries. This is Kapualani with your girl and her moon, full moon reading for the month of May. And we've got a Scorpio lunar eclipse this full moon. So it's going to be an exciting one. Let's see what's in store, Aries. First up, let's see what you need to hear from the universe. Message from the universe, Aries. 9 of Pentacles, sitting pretty is the word that comes to mind. And patience, okay, baby? I know. We got fire, we've got that cardinal fire. And you see here how this 9 of Pentacles, I love how, I so often refer to this like a nest egg, and it's telling me that progress is underway and you don't want to also count your eggs before they've hatched. So a couple of nods here, okay? Enjoy the wealth or whatever downtime you're experiencing after maybe a big rush, okay? Take this moment to sort of pause, and not necessarily that you're counting your blessings, but being in a space where you know that there is yet more to come. And so this is giving you room to sort of just enjoy, enjoy the benefits, enjoy the fruits of your labor and your hard work. You're not in a space where you're going to be like gorging yourself anyway. And if you feel like you are, pump the brakes, okay? So let's see more than anything what this lunar eclipse vibe, the Scorpio lunar eclipse energies might be bringing into your awareness. Looking ahead, exactly. It doesn't stop here, okay? Don't lose faith. I feel called to say that for some reason. Okay, it's almost as if maybe you're trying to get something going, you had a lot of success, and it's like, oh, didn't really, like a misfire in a way. This 2 of Wands, okay, what's being brought into your awareness, it's allowing you time and space to really align the vibe, align the energy, align the vision, taking that time. And you get this by now, Aries. I feel like you definitely understand. You pick things up really quickly. Okay, babe, you know this about yourself. That's all this is, a little bit of a speed bump to actually, like that blessing in disguise, give you a moment to perfect and align. That way, when things really start to get moving and shaking, you have a really secure, affirmative grasp of your co-creative process, because we are speaking about fire here. Okay, and it's in the steps that you're taking, the moments that you're living and breathing here and now, that matters the most in terms of what's to come. Okay, so don't forget that. Let's see what you might need to revisit. Transformation, slowing down, allowing things a space to turn over. Like I said with the nest egg, hey, let things develop. We don't yet know the various potentialities that these pentacles each could hold, right? And so giving yourself that time to sort of mulch things over, that's again that time to adjust, a time to reflect, right? A time to engage this moment as a turnaround, as a bridge point, okay? So let's see what we can do to just call in a smooth Scorpio lunar eclipse here. Be kind to your mind. One of the phrases that often I reflect upon, that sometimes pops out at me when I see this 5 of Swords, okay? Like I said earlier, I was picking up on that, Aries. I was picking up on it. Sometimes, if you have a tendency to be a little bit hard on yourself, just remember not all is lost, okay? This, again, is a moment to just breathe, be a little bit impressed, actually, at how far you've come. Take this time to say, hey, you know what, maybe it does benefit me to have a breather, to sort of have this little moment of pause, because guess what, my shoelaces are untied. Just as simple as that. And when you're going to go out on the racetrack again, you want to make sure that those shoelaces are like not going to be getting in the way, and etc. So whatever may be somewhat lacking, okay, or wherever you're feeling a little off, even energetically, Aries, Keep that in mind. Take a beat and remember the universe is on your side, babe. So let's see what sort of vacation, how we can encourage more of that sort of easygoing energy. Collaborations. Three of Pentacles. Let's be here now. Okay, let's take a look at the components that are right in front of us. Okay, left and right. Here's you, here's your left, here's your right. And for all intents and purposes, if it does deal with the bigger picture, we expand from there. So for now, where are we here and now? What are we working with? And how can we not necessarily just, make the best of the circumstances, but take a look at the benefit, okay, of how the universe may in fact be simplifying things for us. Just because, and remember, don't not counting all the eggs before they've hatched, they may not all hatch at the same time. They may not all be ready at the same time. Your ability to take action, your readiness, your clarity, all that good stuff, it needs to line up the energy. Okay, you see what I'm saying? The slowing down counts. The energy needs to line up. So let it, baby. Okay, let it. Take it easy. I'm seeing things very, simple in this case, especially because we do have eclipse energies. And this is Scorpio full moon. Got that underbelly here. Take the time, okay? Slow down, take that time. It's not going to last. And for you, Aries, I know you definitely know how to make the most out of any circumstance, pretty much. So do that, okay? In whatever way resonates and vibes for you, even if it is just kind of like, for just a second, burning off some of that fire. But I encourage you, okay, babe? Take a peek at your moon and rising. If you don't know what they are, definitely check them out, because then you can kind of have a bit more of a well-rounded perspective on what this particular lunar cycle has to offer. And also, to go even deeper, book a session of your own. Visit us, girlandhermoon.com. You know where to go, and have a blessed full moon. Hey Taurus, this is Kapualani with your Girl and Her Moon full moon report. It is a Scorpio lunar eclipse, so possibly some, how shall I put this? I'm getting the word introspective energies, but let's see Taurus. Okay, let's get your message from the universe, Taurus, first up. The Fool. Okay, easy come, easy go. Wherever, it's okay. Spirit's being really funny because I'm getting more of the comedic value of the Fool here, in the silly sense of lightening things up. If and where you feel like you may have tripped or stumbled, just sort of, I meant to do that, haha, laugh it off is kind of the message from the universe. Laugh it off, no big deal. Okay, rolling on, moving on with the show is sort of the message here. With the Fool, it's also a focus on the brightness, the emphasis, the joy, the spontaneity in life. Your inner child, that childlike nature, may be coming to the surface with a bit more of a spunky nature is what I'm getting, Taurus. And I feel like maybe this is something you could use. So let's see what the universe might be bringing to your awareness, all things considered. I'm getting a little bit of fun and entertainment, but not going too overboard, okay? Because at that 7 of Cups, we always sort of are reminded in the more shadowy perspective in how, okay, when we can sometimes be a little bit overwhelmed, uncertain of ourselves, and or things may not seem what they appear to be, all that they appear to be. This is where I'm sort of getting this message, Taurus, to just play it off and easy come, easy go. Sometimes when you literally don't know and you are sort of, the less you know, sometimes the better, if that makes sense. use your senses. This is something deep here, Taurus. Your intuitive empathic nature will have an awareness that not everything is what it seems. And maybe just like with people and what they're saying, your particular encounters, and or even your own emotions. Okay, do your best to err on the more shallow, light-hearted side of things. Don't go off into the deep end. That's the real big message here. Okay, so on an emotional sense, you may be quite vulnerable right now, and this is a space where it's like, okay, you don't want to eat your emotions away, you know, when you're kind of in the heavier thick of things, and or invite in or just kind of unintentionally kind of allow more of that illusion, intoxication, you know, just things that are not quite balanced or healthy and harmonious for us. I'm getting, again, there's a fragility, there's a little bit of a naivete, like somewhat. It's like, you know, but you don't know, Taurus. So where you're getting a sense that things aren't all that they seem to be, err on the safe side. Okay, there's just something real big coming through here for you on that. So let's see what you might need to revisit. Okay. Okay, there's those horns, there's that whole airing on. I'm like, okay, not everything is what it seems, and don't jump to conclusions. Okay, don't jump to conclusions. And or if it's the tables are being turned on you, that's where it's like, just play it off, no big deal. Okay, there are areas I feel where this is giving you the opportunity to look back at your own growth, look back at ways in which you have had regrets of your own, where maybe you have been a little bit too direct, a little bit too blunt, unintentionally, or in, you know, a very, again, there's a naivete that I see that's coming up here. And something's happening where the tables might be getting turned a little bit. So just, again, you know, take the lessons for what they are. Don't be too hard on yourself or others, you know, for that matter. And again, there's something in terms of being aware that rushing in the past, getting ahead of yourself, maybe unintentionally, you know, it's not what you say, but how you say it and how you may have come across. I feel like there may be some room for some growing, some learning, some evolving, because there's something about things maybe coming back to, I don't want to say haunt you, Taurus, but it's going to be coming back into either your reality in your face, either externally, you know, and or internally, whether you yourself are just mulling over something. This is really deep stuff here for some reason. Advice for a smooth lunar eclipse. Again, the innocence, there's something here about connecting to your inner child, and in this case, okay, attuning more to the intuitive empathic nature, the feeling, and not so much the thinking. Okay, keeping that in mind. The sensitivity, again. And I feel like this could also be in just going back and seeing how, as children, you know, we don't perceive things in terms of what they really are, obviously. And so allowing yourself that forgiveness of yourself and others as well, and also giving yourself a space again for a new cycle. I didn't say that earlier, but because of Fool with those new beginnings, this I feel this sort of protection, you know, where others might be a little bit just frustrated or maybe coming at you or whatever. It's about just not taking it personally, and again, kind of steering away from those more pointy objects. Like, okay, I see it coming, so I'm just gonna avoid. That's really what it is. Like learning your lesson from like, okay, I've dealt with that kind of stuff in the past, I think, and you know, I don't want to go there again. So I'm starting a new page. I want to take a new step. I'm gonna do that. So stay committed to whatever, you know, new start that you also are wanting for yourself. Okay, so okay, let's see what sort of vacation your soul's craving. I heard indifference, putting that sword down, not having to think so much, not even having to deal with whatever is going on there. Look at this eclipse energy. Okay, While the Two of Swords can indicate meditation, again, there's something about not overthinking anything. There's something about like just simplifying. When you can see that the waters are murky, just avoid, 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 and stay where it's safe. Stay where it's, you know, shallow, and not in terms of personality, but just where it's not complicated, where you don't have to bother. It's like, it's not that you don't care, but it's like, it's just not your deal, you know, and you don't have to say it anymore. You don't have to defend yourself. Just like shut the phone off. Just don't be available. Beep, beep, beep. That's like the busy signal is what I'm getting, Taurus. Bless you, baby. And you know what? Take a look at your moon and rising signs as well. Just a little bit of deeper insight, a little bit of extra info. And, you know, if you would like to personalize it even more, you know where to find us, girlonhermoon.com. We are here for you all the way, okay? So have a blessed full moon eclipse. Okay, Gemini. This is Kapualani with your full moon report for the month of May. We've got a Scorpio full moon and a lunar eclipse with that in mind. So let's see what's up, Gemini. Okay, breathing. Okay, Gemini, let's see what you need to hear from the universe. Your message first up. 10 of Swords. Okay, we saw that 4 of Swords when I cut the deck earlier, if you were watching. 4 of Swords, relax, breathe. And so the 10 of Swords especially, where are you overthinking things? Where are you maybe being your own worst critic, you know, your own worst enemy? Where are the past and the future and the present just not making sense? Where are you unable to just be here now? Where, you know what I'm saying? So to figure out those deeper, less vernacular, how should I put it? You know, like things that we can't put into words. Just the stresses, the anxieties, the hamster wheel of like, you know what I'm saying? We got to start somewhere. Okay, Gemini. So message with 10 of Swords is, let's make it simple. Let's just take it step by step, get present here and now. One situation, one issue at a time. Okay, and because we're looking at the 10 of Swords here, it's also an opportunity to give ourselves a little bit of a reset. So let's see now, perhaps with this eclipse energy paired with this full moon, will be bringing to your awareness. There's that overthinking. Okay, right now, Gemini, it seems like the options and just what's in front of you, it may not feel like it's enough. It may not feel satisfactory. It's like a restlessness, you know, with you having the air and these just being black and white energies. And while 4 of Cups is water, we've got this rat, which is a mental energy. So it's kind of like, you know, we're just unsatisfying. We're a little bit not sure. Like the answer sometimes is right. Like I said, simple. The answer is easy. It's often right in front of us, but we're making it overly complicated because perhaps we're just not all that jazzed about the options that are in front of us. And we want other things to be our options, but those options just aren't ready. They're not available. We don't have access. We're not ready. Whatever the case may be, is it hitting a little bit here, Gemini? So, you know, that's where it's, again, let's simplify. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's see what you can revisit, what you might need to revisit this lunar cycle. The Tower. Breaking free is something that I've heard. If the trajectory that you are on isn't working for you anymore, baby, did you know that you have you're allowed to change your mind? Like, for example, this is me, and this might be a little bit intense, so forgive me, but I'm present to how, you know, how sometimes when you get an injury or you break a bone and you have to reset the bone because it's not growing back or it's not healing properly, right? You want it to heal in an alignment. Sometimes you gotta, there's a little bit of also surrender that's coming through. Again, are you locked into a reality, a situation, a loop, a pattern, something that just isn't working for you anymore? With this tower, it's saying, you know, even though there can be some very intimidating things that you gotta kind of like, you know, you gotta raise, you gotta have a little bit of that strength to go through it. There are times also when even if you don't take an action, something's gonna happen, lightning's gonna strike. And so there's a feeling here, okay, Gemini, that one way or another a change needs to occur. So whether you know what to do, you don't know what to do, you do know what to do, but you're just too afraid, whatever the case may be, okay, something's going to be happening. And if that, sometimes that's what we call in because we're too afraid. And sometimes we're like, you know what, universe, I don't know what action to take, but just please, what I would encourage you then to do, baby, is just to make it as effortless and easy as possible. Like, I know it's gonna be, we gotta rip that band-aid off, but like, please just try not to make it too difficult. So let's get advice for a smooth, full moon eclipse here. Lean into your family, okay? Lean into your family, lean into the joy of your friends that you're surrounded by, your community, the love that's there. You've got that support, okay? Big time. This feels to be something definitely personal and inward. Not that it couldn't involve others, but it's so you know that there is joy, there is a love, there is, I'm even hearing gratitude, there is a safe space, a safe haven on the other side of it all. Okay, so even though these changes might be very uncomfortable and it's like we just don't know what to do, but it's like something's got to give. Don't worry, okay? Like where you might be freaking out, you've got more than just one or two, you know, people to go to, places to go to in terms of actual support that is resonant, okay? That aligns. So what sort of vacation, what sort of downtime is your soul craving? Yeah, there's that recovery. Taking it slow, doing your best to maybe, you know, while you know that there's a lot of love, a lot of positivity on the other side, we still have to get through kind of that break point. We still have to get through the ripping of the band-aid part and, okay, dealing with what's under the band-aid, all that. You know what I mean? And we got to deal with the funk before we can really enjoy the good. And so I do see a turning point, okay, babe? And part of it is just really holding that space and knowing I may not be ready to be bouncing for joy and to be in that beautiful, vibrant space. But it helps to know that it's there. It helps to know that there is support. It helps to know that there's a bridge, you know, to the other side. Okay, it's just step by step, and you're able to do this in your own time and space. So do that, okay, Gemini, and keep in mind, take a peek at your moon and rising signs as well. If it vibes with you, rings true, it should give a bit extra info and insight to how this particular full moon and the eclipse energies will be supporting, affecting you, okay? And also, you know where to go, girlundermoon.com for a personal session of your own. So till next time, take care. What's up, Cancer? Kapualani, the girl, and her moon, ready to dive into your full moon report for the month of May. We've got a Scorpio lunar eclipse this time around, Cancer. So let's see what's in store. Okay, Cancer, what do you need to hear from the universe? Your message this full moon. Wow, eyes wide open. The world. Okay, so many layers here, as usual. So I'm very much getting things from the inside out. Because of this kind of Scorpio nature, I almost have a feeling, Cancer, that you yourself may be feeling a little mushy-gushy, vulnerable, but also I get a sense of readiness and excitement. Not just like kind of a starting over, because the world, I always, it's like this gateway opening of new opportunity, not just opportunity and a new beginning, but opportunities, like a whole new world, a whole new perspective. And that's where I get that readiness to step into your own, like, whole new world, your own whole new reality, what you have kind of worked up to, held out for, whatnot. There's something emerging. And so, before I move forward here, also a little bit of potential overwhelm, because there's just so much to do, so much to look at. Okay. So starting at the core, okay, and then working your way out. That's one thing that I got to say there before I move on, Cancer. But let's see what this lunar eclipse will be bringing to your awareness. Yep. Like I said, that eye. Okay. I'm getting something about a weak point, and or that's where I'm saying don't get too overwhelmed. Start from the center and then work your way out. Like I said, there might be a lot to look at, a lot to consider, a lot to do and or to think about. So in this case, all right, slowing down, breathing. Nine of Swords also is when it feels like there's just all of this anxiousness and no actual point of reference. Again, start from the inside, work your way out. And for the Nine of Swords, I just say, okay, with all of these swords at play, what's this one thorn in your side? We got to start with one. I know we've got this whole list of things, but let's just start at one core point. Okay, first and foremost, Cancer, take it easy. Okay, I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But let's be kind to ourselves. What do you need to revisit this full moon? Okay, this makes sense. I feel like because of this inclination with eyes here, it's almost like you said, just one. There's something that there's a perspective that we're missing out on. Okay, these color rays, this black and white, Cancer. There's too much of this focus on the grains and the bottom line and all the details that just are not making sense. We got to be in the now. Where are we living? In the present, the past, or the future? This Two of Wands in this case is just step by step, focusing on the vision, the life that we're living that's right in front of us, the trajectory, the track that we're on step by step in the here and now. Okay, these again color rays I'm also connecting to, that's with the vibrancy of life, the fire, the chi, the life force. What is motivating and inspiring you to get up and go when you are maybe feeling a little bit stuck in bed? I'm like, stuck in our own heads. What is that spark that ignites you into action? Just that one. We just need one, to really get things going. Everything else will fall into place. Okay, let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. Eight of Cups. Where are things stagnated, and where are you stuck in that stagnation? And I thought, again, Cancer, thought about the vulnerability. I often think of Cancer when you're in the process of shedding your shell. This is one of those moments. Okay, things might be feeling really just a bit more heightened, and so be aware of that. And as if you can, just kind of come into that space of, again, where are we sort of losing perspective, right? Like, okay, slow down. Not everything is lost, and where there have been moments, because I think of this Eight of Cups also as when we take that time to emotionally step back, and again, it's going inward. We think about with the Eight of Cups, okay, there's two cups that we still have to look forward to that are ahead. If this is about eight energy of regeneration and recharging, right? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, right now, Cancer, again, you got a soft shell. Try not to take on too much. Try not to, overwhelm and or work too hard right now. Okay. What sort of break or downtime that in mind is your soul craving? Yep. Five of Pentacles, the actual physical aspect of recovering from losses, recovering from, let's just say, again, the shedding, where things have been shed. There's so much here that I feel right now for you, Cancer, that's getting ready, like the newness that's getting ready to develop, but being aware, okay, babe, that there are still fragmented aspects closing out, that you are still, yes, in somewhat of a healing space, a recovery space, a regenerative space. And so even though things are going to be really exciting, you're going to be like, wow, look at all these possibilities, look at all these opportunities, may not have the energy and whatnot, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? And or what energy is there? It's like, where do I go? One step at a time. Okay. The Five of Pentacles, again, in terms of a vacation, downtime. This isn't about going out and spending money. Okay. The opposite, it's about coming in from the cold. Okay. Putting away those things that have kind of maybe outlived or outstayed their cycle, you know, when it comes to cleaning off the shelves. I'm thinking of taking that time to slow down, taking that time to recharge, taking that time to allow your shell to thicken again before you expect yourself to start just pushing and moving and you know what I mean? Busting through things. This is a space to let yourself recharge your life force. Get excited just about what's here and now in front of you. Okay? So keep in mind, check out your moon and rising signs as well. Okay, Cancer, for a little bit of extra insight, and don't hesitate. You know where to find us, girlandhermoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own. So have a blessed lunar eclipse. Till next time. Hey Leo, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon May full moon, actually lunar eclipse forecast. So a little bit loaded, but let's see, Leo, what's in store. Okay, Leo. What do you need to hear from the universe? This full moon, Father of Swords. There's an energy of readiness. And where you're not feeling potentially ready, I'm getting this energy of like arming up. Obviously, with the mental aspect in mind, there is a conscious focus, a conscious ability to apply yourself. And I almost want to say at last. With the Father of Swords, this gives you a sense of being able to put plans into action with a sense of, I almost want to say, like just boom, boom, boom. There's a present state of awareness. There is wisdom that the Father of Swords encourages, and a responsibility to, I feel, there's something about the bigger picture right now, Leo. Okay? The Father of Swords knows not to just go, you know, charging in, whipping that sword around. And so that's where it's about taking that time and knowing that there is a divine time and order to everything. And when you're out there making things happen, when you're out there, how shall I put this? Lining things up, because I'm getting also this energy of lining up the, you know, this aspect or message of lining up the energy is what I meant to say here, Leo. There's a growing wisdom in knowing when it's time to strike. I'm so present right now, Spirit's giving me and showing me this energy of like when the sun goes down, when the sun goes down, you know, like there's a knowing of preparing and arming, you're like having a confidence in knowing what your strengths are, preparing and having a confidence in knowing that you yourself perform at your best under certain conditions, like when you rest versus when you're just kind of plugging away and plugging away and plugging, you know what I'm trying to say? So there's something about a growing responsibility in terms of your perception, Leo. And when I say that, it also means a growing sense of empowerment and a growing sense of confidence in that, you know what, maybe I'm not as far behind, or I'm not as off or a fish out of water as I thought, because maybe it was just either what I was surrounded by, maybe I just didn't know myself well enough, whatever the case may be. There's a readiness, but it's a readiness without necessarily having to be taking action, you know? So there's a maturity here. Let's see what this particular full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse will be bringing to your awareness. Look at that. There's sophistication and a refinement, again, in terms of applying your action. And remember I said about doesn't just go in whipping that sword around, right? For example, if you are someone who is in a position of public speaking or of leadership, you know what I mean? You want to have, there needs to be some very clear and direct points that you make. You guys are like, hi, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So with this Eight of Wands, in terms of what's being brought into your awareness, directing, see the air, and with the air again, the mental, the logic, the intellectual, okay, the ideas. When you're putting those ideas into motion, it's like, number one, have it make sense. And two, again, that divine time and order, because I think of the Eight of Wands is energy in motion. Okay, so part of it too is maybe thinking about putting some of those plans into action and just starting. Again, you gotta have that, you know, start with a spark, but have it be focused. Okay, well, you need to revisit this full moon. Yep. Focus, focus, focus. You don't need to be all over the place to make everything happen. It's almost like being a conductor and just having, you know, trusting and knowing that you're ready and that you have lined things up so that when it's time to go, just this Chariot energy, what you may need to revisit. Okay, there's that alignment, the sun, the moon, and then that pentacle around the horse's neck, lining up the energy, okay, the wisdom, the knowing. And I said something about the sun going down and then the moon, okay, the reality and the opportunities, the people, the experiences, the tools, the resources, and whatnot that you've kind of been like, okay, well, I want to make this happen, but I need this. I want to make that happen, but then I need to meet this person. Realizing what your place in all of that is, again, like, you know, not necessarily literally the conductor, but in your own life situation, in your own life story. And there's this assertiveness here that I'm feeling with the Chariot in terms of wielding your own power, because the whole aspect with the Chariot is balance, left and right, you know, and when they're just kind of trying to guide and drive basically that Chariot, it takes a lot of focus. You can't be like focused linearly in that, you know what I mean? That's where, again, there's something about alignment really clicking into place. And, you know, even for yourself, let's just say, even for like a dancer who keeps trying to nail the same thing, and all of a sudden effortlessly just boom, hits it, you know what I mean? After how many tries, just can't get it, and then finally boom, hits it, right? So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. Practice, practice, practice. Don't give up. Keep at it, okay? This is where we're building the fire. We're building the fire, okay? I really feel this kind of spark ignition energy. Get ready, okay? And be aware of who you're surrounding yourself by. Be aware of how you're fueling your fire. Be aware of what you're focusing on as motivation, as inspiration, okay? Because it's all going to translate, Leo. Let's see what sort of vacation, what sort of downtime your soul's craving. Pause, yep. Look back, okay? the whole emphasis with the Chariot and the focus is, again, before we just go ahead, start the ignition, hit that gas, we want to make sure, is everything check, 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 you know, no lights are blinking, flashing on, brakes are good, this is good, that's good, whatnot. Take that time to, again, refine. There's something, again, here big time about alignment and the clarity that I feel you're stepping into, Leo, and realizing like the why kind of behind it all, you know, whatever delays, whatever bumps and that sort of thing. With the Nine of Wands, this time in terms of a break, in terms of downtime, it's kind of nice, you know. As you can see, these are not active fires burning. It's sort of like, okay, we just want to look back now and really consider, you know, our steps, really consider what we have been through, what we've put ourselves through, what we've overcome, and what's really worth our time and effort. Okay, big time. So I feel a really nice energy of things, again, turning over and aligning, almost like a little bit of a chiropractic adjustment in a way, energetically, Leo. So think about checking out your moon and rising signs for some extra insight. And you know where to find us, leogirl@moon.com, to schedule, to book a personal private session of your own, because we're here for you. So have a good one, a blessed full moon eclipse, and take care, Leo. Till next time. Hey Virgo, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon May full moon lunar eclipse report. So let's see what's in store, Virgo. Okay, your message from the universe, Virgo, what you need to hear, Five of Wands. I'm actually getting slowed down a little bit. Don't, like what they say, you know, what you resist, persist type thing. Virgo, there's some energies here. Things may not yet be ready to, I almost want to get turned over to fully sort of engage, okay? And so this Five of Wands, encourages us here, Virgo, to not give up, okay? And also to, I feel, surround yourself just by the kinds of energies and also engaging yourself in the kinds of activities that are going to be conducive toward supporting your kind of bigger goals or visions at this time, okay? You may not yet be on the other side of things. You may not yet be that realized manifestation version of yourself that you're wanting to be, or in that job or whatever that life, whatever the case may be. And so there is a message of just allowing yourself, you know, persist, practice makes perfect, that kind of thing. And where it seems as though you're just trying to kind of get a fire started, nothing's going, be willing to sort of put that down and seek out kind of like greener pastures for now, if that makes sense. And that doesn't necessarily mean to say to give up on a dream, but it means to allow for that dream to be put on the sideline while maybe you focus on another one. So if it's love and there's some frustration there, put that on the side, focus on career. If it's career, put that on the side, focus on health. You know what I mean? There's always some way of utilizing and catalyzing the energy of the fire here and not sort of staying in a stuck space, okay? So let's see what this particular lunar eclipse will be bringing to your awareness. Father of Cups, there's that healer energy and building the confidence in terms of going with the flow, aligning with the water aspect and element, okay, Virgo? So I was feeling this dryness with the Five of Wands, you know, and so that's where, again, lean into with the healing waters, okay? You yourself may also realize that, hey, I'm a different person that I used to be. You may have some you may have had rather some recent experiences, and or you may be coming into realizations in how, seeing yourself and seeing the world around you. With this energy of the Father of Cups, it does also lean into our feelings of security, So this aspect of the Father of Cups, again, with practice, persist, don't give up on yourself, okay? It's just about supplementing where you're channeling your energy. So again, with the water, I'm into going with the flow. So listen to that emotional, empathic, intuitive aspect of yourself. And in some cases where it benefits you, doing and or expressing, sharing in terms of that kind of heart healing energy. And so for whatever reason, I don't really even feel it has to be that outwardly. It can be like in a journal or something, because I feel almost like you may have a lot to say. You may, what I mean, a lot to share. So let's see what you may need to revisit. That sacred feminine empress energy. Yeah, okay, Virgo. This earthy sort of nature with the Empress that we're drawing into with house and home, with your own sort of, how shall I put this? Aspects of manifesting prosperity, wealth, abundance, from the inside out, from the ground up. Like I'm so called to connecting to energies of just nurturing, energies of high heart. There's a lot of heart healing, heart communication, I feel, and an alignment and emerging, like it's the expressions of the heart is part of what I'm getting here. And tuning into that more sacred feminine nature, the more mother aspect of yourself, in terms of how have you mothered yourself or not, because it's part of that integration and the inner healing with the inner child. There's our sacred feminine and our sacred masculine aspects. So that's really opening up. This is really opening up energies of integration in that way. The sacred feminine, sacred masculine, opening up to the heart healing, opening up to your own, not just necessarily vulnerability, but these are mastery aspects in how we perceive and approach, those realms of energy as well. And so there's a growth that's here. And this particular lunar eclipse is really inviting a space for you, Virgo, to be, in a kind of like reflecting upon how you've changed and sort of, from the inside out. Like, I don't know if when you look back at when you were a child and you look at a little homework or journal entries or artwork or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like, I can't believe I actually did that, and that kind of thing. And then even just more and more how your personality evolves and develops and changes. There's this turning point that I'm feeling for you, Virgo, and how you're being able to really have a sense of, I almost want to say, completion and getting to know yourself on a different level, So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. Mother of Wands. Yep. Incubation. There are ideas, there are goals, there are visions, there are things that you may have in mind, for yourself, for the future. And it all starts from the inside out. So the self-care is big time here. Okay. Not just self-care, but again, being in that space of just putting in the work, putting in the effort. This tells me this is going to be more of a kind of building phase and or creation phase. Okay. You really are being given a little space and a bubble to allow. It's like just gestation that's happening. Okay. So it may actually feel good for you with this particular lunar cycle, in terms of being able to more comfortably integrate a space of not necessarily stillness, but like I said, there's a little bit of a feeling in that you get to incubate and there is growth that happens in the meantime. There is development, but it's about shifting gears in how you're applying the action. Okay, so what sort of downtime or vacation is you so craving? Seven of Pentacles. I'm hearing adding things up, getting organized, getting ready, saying, okay, based on where you have invested yourself, you know, where you have sort of been working on future goals, plans, whatnot, this is going to give you that opportunity. It's almost like cleaning out the closet, making space. So for example, you know, when you gain a new skill, a new resource, a new tool, there are some things that, okay, it's not that, okay, you mean to say it's just going to replace it, but there's a vast improvement. And this new possibility or whatnot, this new investment has the opportunity, you know, it can help make things so much more easy and cutting a lot of time and cost, energy, whatever the case. So it means, okay, well, I've invested this, I've really done all I can. It hasn't quite panned out as I'd hoped, or even if it has, guess what? There's something that's new and improved that could make the situation, the circumstances a little bit easier. And so again, the Seven of Pentacles gives you a space to really go over and reflect that which you've already been working on and establishing, and just seeing how far you've come, so that you can decide what you want to continue to invest yourself in moving forward, and what maybe you can either do differently, shift out of, or just close out altogether and make space for something new to come in. Okay, so think about taking a look at your moon and rising signs as well, Virgo, for some extra insight. And you know where to go, girllettermoon.com, to book a personal session of your own. Have a beautiful and blessed full moon eclipse. Till next time, take care. Hi Libra, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon May full moon eclipse reading. So let's see what we've got for you, Libra. First up, your message from the universe, this full moon eclipse. Boom, lightning strikes. Okay, take advantage of the opportunities that may, I almost want to say, spontaneously hit, if that makes sense. Forgive the word. But with this Libra, I also get that in other ways. It could just be, I almost feel like lightning's going to strike ideas coming to mind. But with the essence of the Tower, something about these lightning strike moments, it's definitely going to create some imbalance, right? Because if you're on a certain track, with Libra, the scales are balanced. That lightning's going to strike, going to throw things off balance. So just be ready, okay? You can handle the changes, I feel inclined to tell you. And I feel like you also get that as well, Libra. So there's some breakthrough moments, coming through. I almost also get possible, like, I don't know why, but like bright ideas or moments that just come, unexpected things that kind of just come out of nowhere. Okay, so let's see what this lunar eclipse will be bringing into your awareness. Look at lightning striking, putting things into motion. Okay, this may be a situation, Libra, where these messages just kind of say, okay, get ready for some turn of events, for some significant changes, things to be put into motion. For, you know, if things felt as though they're heading in one direction, they're definitely going to be moving, I don't want to say in a complete opposite direction, but again, that energy of something unexpected, but it's exciting, okay, with the Eight of Wands in mind. And it also brings us into a space of urgency, of looking at what needs to be focused on, just the here and now, the immediate. There's something about taking advantage of an opportunity that just may kind of come out of nowhere, and be possibly, you know, being ready to get ready to move and to kind of bounce if and when the moment does strike, okay? How you also put your energies into motion. I feel like that's also part of what you're going to be looking at in terms of not spreading yourself out too thin, but channeling, like I said, where things could be thrown off balance. I almost feel encouraged to say, like, focus on hitting the ground running, having that confidence that even though something unexpected may happen, hey, again, this is an opportunity to take advantage of. Let's run with it. Okay. So what you may need to revisit this particular full moon eclipse. Strength. Yep. Harnessing that power, the balance, the internal, knowing when to strike and when to just sort of hold. Okay. Maintaining and sustaining the fire as well. Having faith in the bigger picture. So again, where things may have been sort of abruptly shifting or a bit unexpected, things pop up. I get this energy of encouragement because this is what you may need to revisit, okay, Libra? The Strength card is knowing that things are going to work out. It's just that the universe may have other plans in mind. And for all you know, it's like, hey, you hadn't thought about it before. So again, let's see, rather than reacting and, just to that lightning strike moment or whatnot, right? Breakthrough moment, whatever the case may be, that change that you weren't expecting. Let's hold for a little bit and see where things land, when the sun comes up. So just wait till things become clear. Wait till there's more illumination, more light shed after. Okay, so let's just say even if it's an argument, don't just feed the fire. Step away. Let's get clear and address things. You know what I mean? Let's kind of take a look at things when the suns come up, when things are a bit clearer. Excuse me, and not so much in the dark. Okay. Advice for a smooth full moon eclipse. Yep, there's that energy for you. Wow. Okay, Libra. There's some bigger universal elements at play here. And I feel like for some reason it just sort of makes sense with the timing of this, the Scorpio lunar eclipse that we're moving through. Holding steady and that space of the scales of balance and aligning with karmic law. There's something, universal, just again, a bigger aspect of things karmically that's also aligning, taking place with this particular moon gateway. So again, as advice, allowing for just whatever fire has taken, I just feel like it's just, again, wait till morning comes, wait till the next day, wait till things become clear, wait till things are settled. Don't feed the fire, don't rush into the fire. Just step back as much as you don't try to help, don't try to save, don't try to fix, don't try to do anything. Just stay out of it. Like, if you know what I mean, and like, for example, where there might be an argument, somebody's trying to pick with you, just kind of hold back, let them have their say. Like, don't feed the fire, just observe it. In the morning, things will be made right, or just I just feel this thing about letting the page turn, letting that gateway of the moon cycle sort of turn over. So it may not exactly be the next morning. Okay, it might take a few days, whatnot. But I just keep getting this whole thing in the morning when the sun comes up. Things will look a little bit differently. Your perception of things will be clearer. It'll make sense. Okay. So what sort of vacation is your soul craving? Yep. Grounding, foundation, stability, routine. Staying steady, staying true to your space. Don't change anything. Again, there may be forces outside of you that might kind of I don't say want to, but that unintentionally rock your reality. You know what I mean? A little bit, or try to sort of shake or in some way alter things. Now is not exactly the time to be reactive in terms of just whatever's taking place. It's about allowing, staying steady, holding true to your foundations, your stability, what you're focusing on, and makes sense to you, not getting involved in just whatever other business there is, you know what I mean? Again, until things become clear, settled, until things have had time to sort of reset, turn over. Okay, so there's something here about minding your own business big time, and not that you're nosy at all, Libra, but it's just that inclination to, want to help or whatever, that kind of thing, want to be involved or know what you need to do in terms of situations that might potentially affect you or alter, you know what I mean, your reality. So in that case, again, what you can do, just lean into your comfort zone. Don't change a thing, okay? And just, again, allow and wait for the results to appear so that you can respond rather than react. So that being said, Libra, don't hesitate. Take a look at your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra insight. And you know where to find us, girlundermoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own. So take care till next time. Hey, hey, Scorpio. This is Kapualani with your girl and her moon full moon. We've got a lunar eclipse forecast this time. So let's see what's up, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Your message from the universe, this full moon eclipse. Okay. I'm getting a bit of tension. I'm getting a bit of stress, possible friction. Okay. There's something where I don't know if it's just something biochemically, hormonal, whatnot, a restlessness, and maybe there's, internally, I almost get possibly a desire for a change up, like a switch up in things, a switch up in just, how just being a fixed sign, we get comfortable in our routine, but so we need to kind of change it up. Need to kind of burn off some of that stagnation. That's what I'm picking up on here with the Five of Wands, okay, Scorpio? So let's see what this lunar eclipse energy will be bringing into your awareness. Father of Cups, I'm hearing finding your voice, finding your confidence, and leaning into that space of trusting your talents, trusting your worth, trusting your perceptions, and that how you're seeing things and what you're processing and perceiving, on the inside, what you're feeling on the inside, it's lining up. Not just that, but it's gaining a foothold on that realm of things in the emotional, empathic, intuitive sense. And it's also realizing, the energy that you give, and in how, not that you need to concern yourself so much with how you're perceived, but again, if there's a confidence that you're gaining in just those feelings of self-love, self-worth, self-respect, and the trust that, I've done a lot of the inner work, and I am doing a lot of the inner work, and I'm willing to do a lot of the inner work, and I've come a long way. So I have no reason to hide my talents, hide myself, hide me right now or anymore. There's a time where we're just gonna go snug back under that rock. That's our thing. You know what I mean? That's your thing, Scorpio. But otherwise, there's a comfort in who you are, and a gaining a sense of self-empowerment in terms of putting forth that water energy of trusting your emotions and going with the flow that way. So when you may need to revisit, okay, Ace of Swords, there's an energy of certainty, an energy of discernment in terms of making up your mind, knowing what you want, and again, confidence, okay? And that, how shall I put this? Not just that what you're feeling, what you're intuiting is lining up, but that you've got the knack to also express and or project that energy. Okay, so again, there's something here about gaining confidence and about, clearing any areas of just where we might be shying away from sharing again your talents or just your gifts in some way with others. So in terms of what you may need to revisit, I almost want to say, even though it's like finding your voice and or aligning with your voice in that sort of heart way, gaining the clarity over what you want to say, and what makes sense and aligns for you in a direction in that regard. So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. Father of Swords, yep. Take control of that power and wield it. Knowing what to say, when to say it as well, you've gained that perspective. Your ideas also, in terms of, like I said, following and trusting your instincts, when you are putting yourself out there, this puts things on a whole other level. I do tend to relate sometimes like the swords energies with Scorpio because of the tail with the stinger on it. So it's just about, because you know your strength, you know your power, you know where to kind of like go for where did the jugular, you know what I mean? You know where to strike. And so that's where, and it's saying advice for a smooth full moon. It's using the wisdom and using that power wisely, because it's like our words can also harm. So it's one of those things where you can be really intuitive, Scorpio. So if and where you are in spaces of conflict or friction with others, it's having that wisdom to really be the healer, and rather than that little frenemy or the little, like when you're wounded, right, when we react in pain or whatnot, it's like bah. So this, again, there's a graduation and a realization of your own self and a responsibility of your abilities and your gifts that you're gaining here. So it is a Scorpio lunar eclipse. What type of vacation is your soul craving? Yep, seeing things in a different perspective, being a little bit inward, considering, and I almost want to say gestating, kind of just allowing things to turn over before taking action, okay, before putting things into effect. The Hangman, aside from that shift in perspective, I'm getting a sense of laying low, withdrawing, conserving and reserving your energy. There are some battles, there are some arguments, there are some situations where it's just not worth the time, the effort, and the energy. And that's where I see you shifting perspectives and realizing, you know what, I'm kind of over this. Like, I'm over wasting my breath on this kind of argument and stuff. I just have other things I need to focus on. So there's a turnaround and really in kind of a bit of an evolution of things here. And of course, that Scorpio nature to, again, hunker down, go under the rock. Like I said, you still have that option, you still have that available to you. So think about checking out your moon and rising signs as well for deeper insights. And you know where to find us, ScorpioGirlOnHerMoon.com, if you'd like to book a session of your own. So till next time, take care. What is up, Sag? Okay, Sagittarius, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon May full moon lunar eclipse reading. A little bit of a mouthful. Let's see what's up, Sag. Okay, your message from the universe, this full moon lunar eclipse, Ace of Pentacles. Kind of saw that one peeking out when the deck sort of exploded earlier. Hitting the ground. Okay, new beginnings. Not just new beginnings, but I feel like for you, Sag, I almost feel like energetically it may feel like a long time coming in terms of feeling settled, having a space where the new beginnings that you're hoping for, and maybe even seeing pieces starting to fall into place. The actual feeling of it that you can see, hold, touch. Like, oof, we can finally, can't put my bags down, boof, sink into the sofa, whatever, your home. I get that feeling of groundedness for you, Sagittarius. It feels good, you know, because it does feel secure, it feels safe, and yet because of your free spirit nature, of course, that expansiveness, you know, you're not being restricted, and so it's this feeling of stability, something under your feet, okay? And so turning the page, let's see what this lunar eclipse will be bringing into your awareness. Saw that one. Six of Cups. Okay, so there's, again, something about kind of rooting. And I also get maybe even a nesting, feelings of nesting. So making the home space, these new beginnings, whether they're also loved ones, friends, community, etc. Surrounding yourself in intimate, kind of like soul family company, soul family vibes, even if it's like you prefer to be on your own and you're like, oh, my soul family is me, myself, and my cat, me, myself, and my plant, whatever, you know what I mean? This is going to be really inviting and warm energies here. It's going to be very also nurturing, and your inner child aspects will really feel that nurturing, and I feel there's going to be a little bit of inspiration there as well to just kind of settle into this and enjoy it, to be honest. So what you may need to revisit, going inward, a little bit of, you know, in some ways, I almost, not so much meditating, but allowing, you know, developing. The Eight of Swords, so much it refers to a sense of surrender in terms of the thinking and the planning and just any of that, you know, mental, cognitive stuff. Again, just allowing yourself to sink into life, to root, to feed your roots, to water your roots, to nurture your roots with family, with friends, with situations, activities, food, experiences that are recharging and revitalizing to the soul. You're in a transformation space. There's very much that metamorphosis here in terms of your mental, you know, dimension and your mental energy, and that also deals with, again, like, obviously that conscious perception, you know, that's going to be emerging and developing. So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon eclipse. Patience, persistence. I almost want to get like whistling as you work, just sort of tending to and slowing down with the day to day, allowing yourself to just kind of enjoy the little things, and take this time to really embrace, kind of like, you know, when you have a plane taking off, or when you're getting out to the open sea, and then you can kind of just put things on autopilot or whatnot for a little bit, and okay, stretch my legs, did a lot of hard work. Yes, I still have a little bit of a ways to go, but I can relax, take it easy a little bit, maybe just, you know, have myself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever the case may be, you know, and get ready for that next leg of things. So again, solidifying something of like, you know, finding your core again, finding a space, like if you've been on the go, if there's been a lot of change or a lot of things up in the air or whatnot, there's a feeling of grounding here, which is really, really nice and settling, but yet obviously the flow, because I know for you, Sagittarius, that again, that movement and mobility, it's so important. So what type of vacation, what type of downtimes you're so craving? Yep, connection. Look at these sixes, your relationships, big time, and mending, working on your relationships in terms of what needs to be nurtured, supported, okay? From the inside out, of course. Long-term investments, returns on those long-term investments, okay? So enjoying, again, the fruits of your labors, your hard work. You've earned it. Take a load off, and also it's that mindfulness of allowing other projects and things to develop and being mindful. Again, I get this thing about watering those roots, okay? Whatever, you know, when you're coming back to that center point, I feel this energy of it being really imperative for you to acknowledge from the ground up your own actual living reality, especially since that's what, like, the pentacles, and the roots that are just, you know, the extension that's so present here. So you have that time just kind of like, in a way, zen out. So enjoy, absorb, you know, and allow yourself to be in that beautiful space of balance and harmony, give, take, all that stuff, you know, because it does feel like there are interactive energies, like others around you, that could and would benefit from those connections being, you know, recharged. Well, you know, like I said, nurtured. So, you know, you can be nurturing to each other. It's co-creative here. That being said, sorry about that, Sagittarius, but that being said, peek at your moon and rising signs for some extra insight info, and also, you know where to go, girlonhermoon.com. Book a session of your own to take things deeper in any which way you prefer. So till next time, take care. Capricorn, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon May full moon. This time we've got a lunar eclipse report. Okay, let's see what you need to hear from the universe this full moon, Capricorn. 7 of Cups. Not everything is what it seems. Take a step back, okay? If and where what you're feeling, what you're wanting, what you're needing, what you're looking at, what you're, you know what I mean? There may be, I'm almost getting a lot of possible sensory deprivation, overwhelm, something going on here with things not quite being in sync. And so give yourself that space to step back, okay? There is an inclination in this 7 of Cups to maybe unintentionally dip into those murky waters, whatever way that means in terms of blurring your perception, okay? That's where it's saying this could be also an opportunity, again, for you to step back and see, maybe there are things that I've been, you know, not perceiving accurately, things that I've not been seeing clearly, and or it's just somewhere that I don't need to be kind of involving myself. There's these energies right now that I'm present to, keeping in mind that I believe it is also that Scorpio lunar eclipse here, Capricorn. So with that message, just be mindful, okay? I feel like this has to do with what you're ingesting. There's something literal here about just being mindful with your limits and boundaries of what you're ingesting, and overdoing or underdoing anything, even with if it's with rest, sleep, that kind of thing, okay? So let's see what this lunar eclipse is bringing into your awareness. 3 of Cups. Okay. You know, I know Capricorn, you're kind of like the party one. But this is where Spirit's saying, being mindful when too much is too much, too little is too little, not enough. When is enough enough? Okay? When is enough enough? Sometimes it's like when we earn money. That's the easiest way of putting it, because I know money, earth signs, like especially Capricorn, work, that's like your thing, right? When we don't have a certain gauge or a bottom line for ourselves, it's, again, we can lose sight of when enough is enough. And it's not about, oh, because you're not capable or you can handle whatnot, but it's just like self-love, balance and harmony. You know, like I said, this is going to be a time to really step back and say, hey, you know, where I've been overworking, and maybe I can kind of shift gears and just enjoy my life a little bit. Or maybe where I've just been like partying a little bit too hard. Okay, maybe I need to love myself and work on the healing aspect, gaining clarity, you know. So putting a little bit of fire in that kind of murky stagnation energy that I'm seeing there. So, okay, what you may need to revisit this full moon: grounding, new beginnings, getting solid, focusing on what you can see, hold, and touch. For all intents and purposes, Okay, I really get these aspects of getting a grip, where even like if it has nothing even to do with food, drink, self-medicating, whatever. Where are we perhaps allowing for our emotions? And it could even be because of what we're surrounded by, our people, and our own empathic, intuitive sensitivities and abilities. Our judgments and our perceptions can simply be clouded because we ourselves are very, impacted by our environment. It doesn't even have to, you know what I mean, be like necessarily self-inflicted here. And so it's saying focus on what you can see, hold, and touch. What's right in front of you, work from the ground up. And so even if it is about wanting to have fun and let's be real here. What do you actually have to be able to pull off X, Y, and Z? That will help you narrow down what your real options are. Okay, so advice for a smooth full moon. Six of Cups. Of ground the energy, get advice, surround yourself in like-minded company, surround yourself by those who you can really truly lean on and trust. Like they're kind of, what is the word I'm looking at, you're on the same page. You can see eye to eye in some ways, and or there's someone who might even have something of a higher, more gained perspective than you. So don't hesitate, because it's telling me you already have familiar contacts and connections. This isn't something that you need to figure out or seek out. Those people are actually right there. Look at that extension. Okay, so what you need might be right under your feet. Okay, not somewhere out there. Okay, so what type of vacation is your soul craving? Peace of mind. But this Hierophant, there's that guidance, that higher perspective. My goodness, boom, I love it when that happens. Sorry, it's like tripping me out. Bullseye. Okay, a solid bird's eye view from someone who maybe has gone through it, and or again has the access to that insight, to that wisdom, to that knowledge. It's among your circle of friends. Okay, it's among a group of those that you can actually trust, relate with, and connect. There's a reunion card here, so this may be people from the past that you haven't spoken to in a while as well. Okay, so there's something here as well. Okay, break, vacation, the Hierophant. If it's not you simply also connecting with your higher self, trusting and acknowledging and going to your own innate gifts and abilities as well, always start there from the ground up. Trust and know that there are reliable sources. If you yourself are having a little bit of trouble, there is a reliable source. There are reliable sources that you can lean on for that extra validation. Okay, so don't hesitate. Look into your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra guidance, Capricorn, and reach out. You know where to find us, girlundermoon.com, for a session, to book a session of your own. So blessings till next time. Hello, Aquarius. This is Kapualani with your girl and her moon full moon forecast. This time we also have a lunar eclipse. Okay, for the month. Ooh, excuse me. A lot of activity here May. Okay, let's see. What's up, Aquarius? All right, your message from the universe, what you need to hear, Aquarius, this full moon. Start over. Don't hesitate. And also, let your inner child play. Let your inner child lead the way. I'm getting really clear here for you, Aquarius. Okay? While this is the energy of the Fool and that beautiful sunshine, yellow rays, just kind of, evoking a sense of joy, obviously, of being present to the moment, of just also innocence, naivete to a bit, you know what I mean? Newness and whatnot. Recognizing and seeing ourselves, with a childlike perspective. Sometimes you know, that's all we need in terms of having a bit of a reset, you know? So let yourself open up to these new cycles and whatever sort of feelings of spontaneity within reason, of course, and being safe. Come to you, okay, Aquarius? So what will this lunar eclipse bring into your awareness? How you might have been perhaps hard on yourself. And, again, the Fool, easing up, taking a lighter perspective, shrugging off just things of the past, new beginnings, starting over, okay? And so giving you the perspective of how perhaps in the past you were really hard on yourself, and we often are our own worst critics. And this Five of Swords, it's such a reminder to not psych ourselves out or allow ourselves to feel too down and out or defeated before we even given ourselves a chance to try. It's often when we are a little bit, like I said, our own worst enemies. And so there's an opportunity here to kind of let the sun in. Okay. Well, you may need to revisit this full moon. Wishes, hopes, dreams. What gives you a sense of fulfillment, Aquarius? Okay? Don't be afraid to connect to your emotions and that inner child of, and I'm hearing the word, to be honest, delight. And sometimes as human beings, some of the easiest ways to connect to that feeling is through food, not gonna lie, because I'm thinking of just that sense of food, a drink, a celebration, the being surrounded by things that evoke a sense of satisfaction and a sense of, because of this energy of the Nine of Cups, like a dream, like fantasy, almost fantasy like quality, but again, it does remind us that not everything is entirely what it seems. So let's also be authentic and be willing to, that's where I said, dive deeper in connecting to our emotional bodies. And where we can lighten and not be so heavy is to bring into the childlike perspective, right? To kind of help guide the way and help us not kind of sink too heavy and far in. So, advice for a smooth lunar eclipse. Patience, one step at a time. Also, taking a moment to recognize these new beginnings where you've done a lot of the heavier lifting, where you've done a lot of the leg work, the back work. Now, with these new cycles in mind, guess what? This may be a new cycle for you, but you're definitely not starting from square one. Okay? So keep that in mind. You're much further along this time than where you were before, which brings us back to this point of the Nine of Cups. What once gave you joy and satisfaction isn't really matching up so much anymore. So this is a space to take a look at your surroundings, to get grounded and say what authentically lines up. So it's nice because we've got this inner child, this beautiful representation of, again, that childlike energy. And then here with the spider, grandmother spider. So there's that really sweet sort of, I feel, protection in experiences gained, knowledge gained, and that knack of knowing exactly where to go, where everything sort of fits into place, okay? So you can trust that about yourself, okay? All right, what sort of vacation or downtime is your soul craving? Yep, like I said, grounding, Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings. You don't just want a new beginning, okay, right, Aquarius? You want somewhere safe to land. You want to know that when you step out there, there's going to be something solid and stable under your foot. You don't want to just be wafting and wee, you know what I mean? Because that doesn't feel very comfortable. And also like, whoa, oops, it doesn't feel good. So, Ace of Pentacles, what sort of vacation is your soul craving? I feel a sense of centeredness, a sense of taking a look at really, I get the word structurally, the life that's, right under your feet, right in front of you, so that you can, in a very kind of see, hold, touch way, get a bit more of a sense in terms of, like I said, that emotional, authentic connection of what gives you fulfillment at this point in your life, and or what maybe is speaking to you, what resonates, you know, when you're stepping out there with this kind of new perspective and or new cycle that's at hand, knowing again that there are also goals, right, that are still underway. So letting yourself have fun and also take a look at things with the sense of, okay, I'm going to actually I have an ability to keep making things happen one step at a time. Just got to start from the inside out, okay, literally. So all that being said, check out your moon and rising signs for some extra insight. Visit us, girlundermoon.com, Aquarius, for a personal session of your own. And until next time, take care. Hey Pisces, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon, full moon, lunar eclipse, and we've got a full moon Scorpio lunar eclipse, Pisces, in store for you. So we got your reading here. Let's see what's coming through. Okay, Pisces, what do you need to hear from the universe this particular full moon lunar eclipse? Four of Pentacles. Okay, foundations. I don't know why, but I'm getting foundations, foundations, foundations. What sorts of routines or habits are sort of, do you feel yourself cycling out of, or do you feel yourself perhaps preparing to shift gears? Okay. There's an energy here, Pisces, where I feel the universe is also bringing our attention to a sense of clinging and or, again, it's a stagnation in a certain way that you've gone about doing things, a day-to-day sort of routine. Because I'm kind of like my attention's being drawn to how the pentacle can be like a gear. You know, these pentacles are each like gears, and how over time, right, the gears or the bands can sort of wear down. So where has your routine been sort of become a bit monotonous and or a bit overly redundant, to a point where now it's like, you know, there may be a little bit of something lopsided to take a look at. I'm just present to something that might need a little bit of an adjustment. So taking a look at your foundations and where things could perhaps use a little bit of refinement, use a change up, use a tune up, so to speak. So that might even go to the actual mechanics in your life, or appliances, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, speaking of which, I think, if I'm not incorrect, we may be hitting the Mercury retrograde. So that may have something to do with looking at the actual physical things. Okay, so let's see what this lunar eclipse energy will bring to your awareness. Nine of Cups. Feelings of satisfaction and fulfillment. I feel like you might be bored, Pisces. Okay? And it's not that you don't have a, you know, for you, I like to say, to take anything for granted. Because it's like, okay, you know, the mutable water, I just think of the fishbowl at times. And it's like, okay, we got to change the water. Water's getting kind of funk. You know, we had a lot of fun in that clean bowl, and we went to the carnival, we went to the racetrack, went all over the place. Time to get some new, to change out the water in a way. That doesn't mean that you need a whole big overhaul, Pisces. I mean, for you, maybe you would like that, maybe that does work for you, but just so you know, it's not what that has to mean, okay? These are safe, almost kind of mutable energies themselves that I'm feeling when I'm pairing them up like that. And it gives a space of contemplation, again, in how you kind of circulate in your day-to-day routine, your day-to-day operation, even though there can be some satisfaction, the Nine of Cups isn't really about satisfaction. It's about wishes and fulfillment. So there's a little bit more of a bounce that, and that's there. And so that's where, again, what's being brought into your awareness, the actual, you know, the nurturing and the alignment of the authenticity. That's what I wanted to say and get at. How authentically gratifying, how authentically satisfying are your current routines, patterns, habits, and just kind of day-to-day swing of things? Could you use a little bit of a shift? And again, it doesn't have to be something hugely dramatic, but it's just opening you up to contemplation so that you can maybe explore. So let's see what you might need to revisit this full moon. Okay. Keep going. You see here, Eight of Pentacles. You're not starting with 0. Okay. In fact, you're starting with quite a bit. And that's where when I think of 8, I think of that word satisfaction, because okay, this is good. But with this, it's a bit more gratifying, It's like, yeah, it's exciting because 9 out of 10, we're almost to that 10 out of 10. So with this 8 of Pentacles, and we have this 4 of Pentacles starting off here, we're looking at our foundations again. Where can we maybe sort of look at, structurally speaking, and or just what we may have on hand? Like, for example, maybe, you love to sort of, you're artistic or whatnot, and the particular form that you were working with or the media that you were working with, it's like, I'm kind of feeling a little bit, I'm losing that sort of connection, that flow. You've got other tools and resources in your arsenal. Don't forget. Okay? There's other things that you have, other abilities, other gifts, whatnot, to integrate, to kind of add as a refresher. So it's not necessarily you have to chuck everything out, like I said, and start over, whatever. But that, hey, maybe there are some things that you can put to rest for a minute and just kind of pick up on and start integrating other things. Just like turning over of seasons, like when it's in the snowy time, you're going to use snow things. When it's summertime, you use summer things. Just as easy as that. Okay? So some advice for a smooth full moon. Yep, 4 of Wands. This is nice. I feel like these are nice energies, inviting energies for you, Pisces. With the 4 of Wands, like what's really that vibrancy, the fire, right? And that draw, bringing things to center. And again, 4 with the foundations, it's how we're putting those day-to-day, energies and kind of habits into motion, reestablishing, reinvigorating here. Okay, getting a new vision, a new way of looking at things. All right. This could also indicate the possibility of partnering up, and or it could involve just relationships with others as well. So for example, it's as easy as I don't want to go there too much, but I was thinking of with certain friendships that maybe are, or like, again, when you have a certain habit or pattern, you do certain things, like maybe you meet up with the same person and you tend to send, you know what I mean? There are things that are cycling out. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden, boom, and that's it, right? It just means that there's going to be a little bit of a new, we need something to kind of perk things up. There's going to be a little bit of a shift that's taking over to turn things over, okay? A fresh perspective, a bright perspective, more inspired. Okay. What sort of vacation is your soul craving? Yeah. 10 of Cups. There's that water. And of course, it's the 10. Like I said, 9 out of 10. What? 10 out of 10. There we go. House and home. Big time. How is the energy in your home circulating? I almost feel like this might be a good time to consider doing a home cleanse. I feel like regular home cleanses are cool, but how they say deep cleaning, even if it is an actual deep cleaning, I feel like that might be very beneficial for you. Like I said, we got to change out the water. It's getting kind of funky. It's getting stagnated. We're not feeling that fire, that yeah. Because Pisceans, I know you guys can really move energy, get energy going. There's a lot of intelligence that you carry. And so when the waters are kind of getting funk, it's going to affect your clarity. It's going to affect your motivation levels. So keep that in mind, okay? If you kind of feel like you're starting to get stuck in a rut, just start to look at your day-to-day routines and stuff, and where you might be able to switch things up a little bit. Okay, like maybe you're eating the same food, and it's like, okay, maybe you kind of need something different. You know what I mean? So have fun with it. Okay, Pisces, look toward brightening things up, refreshing things, and even perhaps like a little bit of a house, like a home cleaning situation and whatnot. But yeah, spending time in terms of, again, from the inside out, house and home, and then with loved ones, family, and just reconnecting and letting yourself, again, just feel that sense of reset. Okay, so don't hesitate, Pisces. Take a look at your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra insight, more expansive take on this lunar cycle here. And you know where to go, where to find us, girlandhermoon.com, to book a personal private session of your own. So till next time, take care.